right. So as far as a topic this week, we'll just have general questions. Let people kind of chime in about where do they find mentors, whether they're business mentors, professional mentors, whatever aspect that what they have in that area. So let's pick that topic today and just so who wants to start on discussing it?
I can start.
Sure.
For me, there's this free network called SCORE. I don't remember what the acronym is for, I'm sorry, but if you guys just Google SCORE mentors, it's kind of retired business people who were entrepreneurs, and they literally they pair you up. First you have sort of an interview with a couple of them at the same time. And
where's this? I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that.
SCORE. It's just called SCORE Mentors.
Oh, SCORE. That's where I went there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and yeah, they match you up with a couple different entrepreneurs or, retired entrepreneurs. And then they understand your needs and what they're good at. And then they'll pair you up and they kind of just follow you throughout your career and throughout your ownership of your business. And they give you advice and it's all free. And so it's awesome. So if any of you aren't doing it, you should definitely take advantage of it.
And was that out of, I know it's part of the SBA, was that out of RVCC or where did you find the local SCORE chapter? Do you know?
For me, I was part of the Leading Women Entrepreneur Group and somebody there told me about SCORE. So I don't really know where it originated. Paul, do you know, or Jonas?
No, they've been around for a while, but Dennis, you're right. RVCC does have an office or a chapter that's there. You can go there and,
Yeah, I assume that was the most local place for everyone. To kind of.
I met them there. That's when I first decided to quit or to move out of my job. I went to SCORE and got some advice from them. They kind of pushed me towards going the franchise route, though. But I didn't take their advice, but kind of set me on the right path.
Oh.
Great. As far as anything else, does anyone else? I know there's a guy. Carlos Abdad, I will kind of reach out, put his information in. I mean, he pushes a big networking, mentoring kind of group. Now, Paul, you mentioned that you have a mastermind group. How does that work? I mean, is that kind of a similar concept? I mean, it doesn't just have to be about mentors, but can you kind of describe a mastermind group to everyone, including myself?
Yeah, so a mastermind is generally a group anywhere from 5 to 10 people. That get together on a regular basis. It's pretty much a commitment because it's best when it just keeps going and people show up and they share. And there's different ways that they can go as far as how it works, but depending on the number of people, let's just say that there's 4 people. Each person would get about 15 minutes or so, and you go around the group. The first person will kind of share their win for the week or the month or whatever the period was since you last met, and then just basically talk about an issue or problem that you're having. Right? Then the rest of the group would then kind of give feedback or some ideas and it's brainstorming, if you will. If somebody knows somebody that they can put you in contact with, great. You can make the relationships that way, and you just kind of take turns going around the group. And some masterminds can be very specific for a niche. So I could be in one for web designers. What I found though is that the more diverse people are, you get a web person, you get an auto mechanic, you get an insurance guy, right? Just very diverse. You get completely different opinions and thoughts that you might not get when everybody is, kind of locked in the same group.
And now, is this like a BNI where it's kind of like franchised out and there's a fee to membership of it, or how does that work?
No, so it's anybody can do it. So, if we had, right now, what do we have? 3, 6, 8 people, we could, decide that we want to be a mastermind and just meet for that purpose. There are people who will charge to facilitate a mastermind, and just the idea that when people are paying that they're more likely to show up. First mastermind I was in 2006, and we actually lasted about 8 years. So we met weekly, and it was on Tuesday evenings at 7:30. It was for the longest time. So.
And then does anyone have any tricks from within the industry? Because obviously, I'm not talking out of turn here when we're all not the young pups in this particular group right here. What is, obviously a lot of times in industry wise, at work or whatever you are, people kind of take you under the wing. What has anyone else found, or whether it be a coach, like a life coach or a business coach or any of those? Does anyone have any experience with that, and what are their thoughts about those?
Dennis, I'll jump in on the industry. I'm in certainly financial services. I'm with a broker dealer, and we have about 1,000 advisors, and so you definitely know in my business who the top of the top are, right? I mean, they're the top 5%, top 10%, and I think so. You'll find out who they are, but I think something I learned a little later in my career is that, you know what, these folks, they're so successful, their doors are open to sharing and in fact, like you said, bring you under their wing and mentor. A lot of times in our shoes, we're intimidated. We don't want to bother them. It's their time, but it's a lot of times they're saying, well, nobody's asking me. So they will make themselves available. That's, I think, that one of the most important things, that when you find them, don't shy away from, reaching out for coffee, reaching out for a quick phone call, understanding what they do. And if you can emulate some of their practices, it puts you on a better path or track too,
Excellent. And kind of to bring a little bit of a mastermind approach to this, how about we all kind of set to keep each other accountable to say, hey, within a month, let's see if each one of us find a new mentor. And if we don't, we do, we don't, we don't. I mean, no pressure, but I mean, I think that might be something that wouldn't hurt anyone to have some great advice from someone who knows what they're doing, whether in industry or out of industry. We can kind of hold that out as a challenge for everyone.
Yeah,
Anybody
that's been
else?
something I've been thinking about a lot lately. I mean, in my situations, I'm like a new business owner. And in this COVID stuff, I feel like every day is like this sort of uncharted territory. So yeah, that's something I've been putting a lot of thought into. But it's kind of hard to figure out a starting spot. I've seen this thing called a Vistage or a Vistage. It's like it's sort of like you join almost like a board. So they put you in groups of other business owners, and they have a facilitator, and you guys are all kind of become like sort of a mastermind group like this of all business owners. And I think there's I don't know if that's a mentor type thing, but it's more like a mastermind type of thing.
Yeah, and we're just talking about how we all know that we can all get better from others. So that's really what the topic is more about. How do we get better from others and leverage? I know myself personally, I have someone who, was someone I looked up to when I first changed my first job out of Ernst & Young. And again, it's just somebody I bounce stuff off of every once in a while, not officially a mentor of any way, and certain topics he has no clue about, but it's just always good to have that person who you kind of trust what they're gonna relay to you. The only other thought I had was you'd mentioned before, Jonas, that you did something with Goldman and their small business group. What can you kind of give some insights on that? That might be something that might be valuable to everyone here.
That was good. It was the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses Program. They run it around the country.
Yep.
The closest ones are in Queens, New York, and Philadelphia, and it's run out of the City College of Philadelphia, and that's where I went. And it's a 4-month program. You go at least once, maybe twice a week down to Philadelphia. You spend the full day, and you have to apply for it. So it's like you have to have a business where you have employees and you can spend 1 or 2 days out of the office and still have things operate. So there's a few different parameters about how it works. And so, yeah, I mean, and then what you do is you go through a whole curriculum where an accountant will come in, you'll learn about negotiation, you'll learn about, you basically, the whole point is you develop a growth strategy for your business and like a 5-year growth plan, and you come out with an actual plan. So you learn about, banking, the value of developing a relationship with your bank, a lot of different, it's a full blown thing. And you work in little groups within it, and you work on projects, and, at the end of it, you'll present your plan. My plan was to buy another company, and then I graduated, and then the world went crazy. And I was like, ah. And so I kind of went more into protection mode. But but there are a lot of different people. I mean, there are all different types of businesses there. I mean, you had my business, a door and harbor business. You had a guy that ran an HVAC company. You had a guy that who's very successful. He sells tufting guns, which are and sells yarn to people who are like crafty people. This guy makes money. He sells freaking yarn and a gun that you use to make rugs with. Another woman sells high-end sidewalk chalk. She has an actual company that sells high-end sidewalk chalk.
Wow.
And it makes money.
Who knew?
It's called Twee. Twee. The TWE. They sell it like Neiman Marcus, like these high-end stores. It's made out of chalk, but it's like shaped like a donut or something. And then you had all kinds of different types of businesses out there, and you all come together. They don't group you. So you have there's an architect. There's a few people. You couldn't be a sole practitioner and do it. There was a couple of people like that had optometrists. There were like 3 optometrists. A bunch of different things. But the thing is, you had to have a business with employees, and then you would learn a lot from each other. It was really interesting. It's kind of funny that you came out all ready to go, and then we got into this thing, and it sort of like scuttled a lot of people's sort of like,
Here we are.
That'll change your plans quick. So
yeah, that'll change your plans quick. But it was really good, and what it really it gets you thinking about working on your business versus working in your business. What's a business? It's when it can make money without you actually doing something. And, you're supposed to be the leader and sort of chart the direction of your company. And, so there's, luckily, I do have that ability. My company does run, I don't technically have to be there. But I do, because I like being there and I'm trying to grow it. But if I wanted to run baseline, I can just, check in. So that's kind of the deal with that. So yeah, it's a Goldman Sachs 10,000 small businesses. There's marketing companies that were there. There's 2 or 3 of them. It's a really good network of people. It's a really good network of people, and I still keep in touch with some of these folks. So
Awesome.
that I highly recommend it.
Cool.